Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and honestly sobering prophecies in the entire Old Testament. We're looking at the very beginning of Zechariah chapter 11. And this isn't just ancient history. It's a passage that's packed with this stark, poetic imagery that foretells a time of absolutely devastating judgment. Right from the jump, the prophecy opens with this chilling command. Notice that. It's not a suggestion, it's not a request, it's a decree. Something huge and destructive is coming, and it's as if the nation's own gates are being ordered to swing wide open and just let the fire in. This sets a really solemn, almost inescapable tone for everything that's about to unfold. So, you might be wondering, what exactly is this all pointing to? Well, historically, these verses are seen as this incredibly vivid picture of the catastrophic events of 70 AD. This is a vision of the Roman legions coming in and destroying Jerusalem and its magnificent Second Temple. And the text connects that event directly to a deep spiritual crisis and disobedience within the nation itself. To really get across the sheer scale of this collapse, Zechariah uses some powerful imagery from the natural world. These first two verses, they paint this picture of a mighty forest being just completely brought to ruin, and it's a clear metaphor for the fall of an entire nation. Just listen to the chain reaction of grief here. The fir tree is told to howl because the cedar, the mightiest tree, has fallen. Then the strong oaks of Bashan are told to howl because the entire forest is coming down. You see, Zechariah is showing us this isn't just one isolated incident. It's a complete societal breakdown from the very top all the way down. So what's the deal with Lebanon's doors? Well, this is deeply symbolic. Lebanon was famous for its incredible, majestic cedars, the very same wood that was used to build the temple in Jerusalem. So Lebanon becomes this poetic stand-in for Jerusalem, or even the whole land of Judea. And when its doors are thrown open, it signifies a total loss of defense, which made the Roman conquest just devastatingly easy. And the trees themselves, the towering cedars and the mighty oaks, they represent the nation's elite. Its leaders, its nobles, its military commanders. When they fall, it means the entire power structure, the very strength of the nation is, as the text says, spoiled and brought to absolute ruin. All right, so the prophecy then kind of zooms in. It shifts from the symbolic forest to the actual leaders themselves, the shepherds of the people. And their reaction here? It's not defiance, it's just utter despair. And check out the dual imagery here. It's so powerful. You hear the howling of the shepherds because their glory is gone, and at the same time you hear the roaring of young lions because their pride, their domain, is also destroyed. Both of these images are pointing to the exact same thing, a total humiliating loss of power and status. So yeah, it's pretty clear. The shepherds and the lions are metaphors for the same group, the ruling class. These are the very people who are supposed to protect and lead the nation. But in this judgment, their glory, their authority, their pride, it's all spoiled, leaving them with nothing but cries of anguish. And this is where the prophecy takes a really tragic turn. I mean, if the shepherds have failed this completely, what about the people they were supposed to be leading? Well, they're described here with this heartbreaking phrase, the flock of the slaughter. Just listen to this indictment. The people are being victimized from every possible direction. Their possessors, their rulers, are exploiting them without a shred of guilt. Those who sell them, probably merchants or corrupt officials, are getting rich off their misery and then have the nerve to thank God for their wealth. And maybe worst of all, their own shepherds show them absolutely zero pity. It's this threefold condemnation. You've got leadership that is actively harming the people, then you have them profiting from all that suffering, and on top of it all, they're completely devoid of compassion. Zechariah is painting a picture of a deeply, deeply corrupt system where the vulnerable are just seen as a way to get ahead. And this wasn't just some abstract idea, We can see a direct historical parallel to this in the Second Temple period. Just think about the money changers who set up tables right in the temple courts. They exploited worshipers who had to pay the temple tax or buy animals for sacrifice. They literally grew rich off of the people's piety. This quote just perfectly illustrates the twisted logic going on here. It's the mindset of someone who takes advantage of the most vulnerable people and then has the gall to frame their predatory behavior as some kind of divine blessing. It's a profound hypocrisy that just rots the faith from the inside out. So what is the divine response to a leadership that shows no pity for its own people? Well, the prophecy is pretty blunt. It declares that God, in turn, will show no pity for the inhabitants of the land. This verse is just chilling because it's a declaration of divine withdrawal.
God basically announces, I'm not going to intervene anymore. Instead, he says he will allow two things to happen. He'll deliver the people into his neighbor's hand and into the hand of his king. And crucially, he says, from this, I will not deliver them.
And what's incredible is how historically precise this two-part judgment is. Into his neighbor's hand, that points directly to the horrific internal conflict, the civil war between Jewish factions that tore Jerusalem apart from the inside during the Roman siege. And into the hand of his king? Well, that clearly refers to the external conqueror, the Roman emperor and his legions, who would ultimately come in and smite the land. So really, the bottom line is this. The prophecy culminates in the most terrible consequence you could imagine for this nation. It's the removal of God's covenantal protection. And without that divine shield, they are left completely and totally vulnerable, exposed to both collapse from within and destruction from without. And this all leaves us with a really profound and timeless question, one that echoes way beyond ancient Jerusalem. When a society's protectors, its leaders, its shepherds, become its predators, is some kind of devastating collapse the inevitable result? That's the sobering question that Zechariah really forces us all to consider.